On the news, National Assembly calls for investigation and prosecution of perpetrators on the killing of soldiers in Delta State. National Correctional Service confirms recapturing of 384 Kuje escapees. Correspondent on impacts of constituency projects. A very warm welcome to NTA Parliament News, reaching you from the nation's capital city, Abuja. I am Praise Mwachuku. Senate condemns what it describes as horrific murder of officers and soldiers in Okwama community in Delta State while on a peace mission last Thursday. The Red Chamber says those responsible must be apprehended and made to pay for this heinous act. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports on this and other considerations at plenary.
May the souls of our gallant soldiers who were murdered in very horrific circumstances in cold blood in Okwama community of Delta State in the course of carrying out their civic responsibilities rest in perfect peace.
What happened in Delta was not an accident. It was a designed and well-orchestrated effort to kill our military men.
It's not every day, even in a war situation, it's not every day a country suffers this kind of loss. The military cannot, they don't even have they don't have the power to even go and start killing innocent persons. So long as that will not be accepted, we will also not accept the situation where people will also attack and kill the military.
No stone should be left unturned in trying to find out these culprits, those who are responsible, and they must face justice. They must face justice, and this should never happen again in this country.
Lawmakers reacting to the killing of officers and soldiers when the issue was raised by Senator Abdul Aziz Adwa.
Gravity of the recent attacks on military personnel, recognizing their impact on national security and peace, and emphasizing the need for meticulous engagement with civilian communities and regions to foster mutual understanding.
Through our inquiries, if we mix with the communities and try to find out what actually went wrong, we may even assist both parties to reach amicable resolution. But nobody, no country will accept the kind of thing that we have just witnessed.
Senate calls for immediate compensation to families of the slain military personnel. Senate has approved 1.282 trillion naira as Federal Capital Administration statutory budget for 2024. Also approved is the budget of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, totaling 446 billion naira for 2024. As requested by President Bola Tinubu, Senate has confirmed the appointments of Managing Director and Executive Directors of the Asset Management Company of Nigeria, AMCON. Meanwhile, Senate has passed the bill to establish National Youth Service Corps Trust Fund, which seeks provision of sustainable source of funds for skill acquisition and empowerment of corps members, among others. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
The House of Representatives has called for thorough investigation into the killing of 17 soldiers who were ambushed last week while on peace mission in Okwama community in Ughelli South local government area of Delta State. Lawmakers at Tuesday's plenary condemned the gruesome murder of the military officers, insisting that the perpetrators must be brought to justice. National Assembly correspondent Mitaiwe Ipen reports.
Honorable Jimmy Benson.
Adopting a motion of urgent national importance by Representative Babajimi Benson, lawmakers described the killings of soldiers in Delta State as an affront not only on the military but the nation at large, saying that the perpetrators must be unmasked.
Acts like this, by the very people the Nigerian armed forces are meant to protect, have the potential of demoralizing the military and affecting the war on insecurity and insurgency, which has so far recorded some huge successes.
And I appeal to our military in the face of this huge provocation to please observe some international protocol and human and stop the current burning going on in the community. so that investigations can go on and the real culprits are apprehended and brought before justice.
The House received an executive bill from President Bola Tinubu seeking to provide new salaries and allowances for judicial office holders in the country.
To end the prolonged stagnation in their remuneration and to reflect contemporary socio-economic realities. The bill will also ensure significant improvement in the welfare, capacity, and independence of the judiciary.
Meanwhile, a bill for an act to establish the Federal University of Solid Mineral Development, Michika, Adamawa State, scaled second reading.
Will address this critical gap by providing a dedicated platform for education, research, and innovation in the exploration and utilization of solid minerals.
Adopting other motions, the House has mandated its Committee on Treaties, Protocols and Agreements to investigate an alleged trade deal between Nigeria and the United Kingdom, which allows UK lawyers to practice in Nigeria.
While the deal seeks to foster collaboration between the film and media industries in the United Kingdom and Nigeria, it does not cater for the interests of Nigerian lawyers, as there are no such provisions or opportunities for them to practice their trade in the United Kingdom.
The sum of 1.28 trillion naira was approved and passed as the 2024 statutory budget of the FCT administration. From the National Assembly, Mitairi Ikben, NTA News.
The National Correctional Service has confirmed that 384 inmates who escaped during the last jailbreak at Kuje Correctional Facility have so far been recaptured, with 502 still at large. The affirmation was made during an oversight visit by 5 House committees to the Kuje Medium Security Custodial Center investigating the incident. National Assembly correspondent Joshua Ogunjide has details.
The delegation was led by the Chairman House Committee on Reformatory Institution.
We are here with the mandate of the House over the motion to investigate the escape on July 5th, 2022. And this mandate is accord on a 5 committees: the Committee on Reformatory Institution, the Committee on Justice, the Committee on Interior, the Committee on Human Rights, and the Committee of Police. And we have visited Kuje prison, we have seen things by ourselves, and it is our duty now to go and look into our various views to make sure such a thing will not happen again.
So far, many inmates have been recaptured, including some members of the Boko Haram syndicate, leaving many at large, while 4 died during the attack.
So far, 384 inmates were recaptured, including some members of the Boko Haram suspects, leaving a total of 502 inmates at large.
Members therefore stressed the need for proper correctional audit of Kuje Medium Security Custodial Center, justice funding, and improvement in the area of information technology are germane.
Their welfare is very paramount because they are at the center stage of the danger. And this is the time we should have life insurance for our officers and men.
We, at the same time, are very concerned about petty crimes that are not meant to be custodial, but those petty offenders end up staying in correctional facilities for so long and they become hardened criminals. It's meant to be correctional.
Whatever we can do to make sure they have more reimbursed budget, we'll do that.
In Abuja, Joshua Auguste, NTA News.
And now the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, has assured Nigerians on the introduction of initiatives aimed at bolstering massive production and providing essential support to farmers amidst the ongoing challenges posed by soaring food prices. And this was during an interactive session with the Joint Committee on Agricultural Production Services and Rural Development. National Assembly correspondent Amina Seyudu reports.
The Minister of Agriculture said the current administration is prioritizing food security in the 8-point agenda, which will help alleviate the challenges encountered in the country.
There are steps that government has taken under the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and other agencies too, starting from the dry season activities that we have launched, the wheat season, and I'm happy to relate that the wheat is under harvesting now as we speak. And also under the NAGs, the rice planting that is just about to take off. And we intend to cultivate 250,000 hectares of rice and 55,000 hectares of maize and 30,000 hectares of cassava.
Chairman Senate Committee on Agricultural Production Services and Rural Development, Saliu Mustafa, said the meeting is to ascertain the status of ongoing projects and sustainability for the development of the nation.
The committee wants a first-hand information, and if need be, we will proceed to see for ourselves where and how some of these have been done. As representative of the people, the committee is fully aware of the enormous responsibility on our shoulders, and we are committed to ensure that the policies and directives passed are fully implemented.
I think that we must have a plan to say, okay, this issue of rice, for example, is a stopgap. These are the other things we are going to put in place to increase agricultural production so that we can feed ourselves.
The session agreed for a collaborative approach between stakeholders towards achieving core mandates in the sector for sufficient food production in Nigeria. From the National Assembly, Amina Saidu, NTA News.
We pause now for some messages. The news continues shortly with special reports on impact of constituency projects and stories from the state assemblies. Stay with us.
Are you looking for a short channel to make your business, goods and services go viral? Look no further, as NTA Parliament is your short channel. Take advantage of our wider reach and advertise your products and services on NTA Parliament DSTV channel 370, GoTV channel 126, StarTimes channel 306, and Free TV channel 706. For more inquiries, contact the marketing department, NTA Parliament, NTA Headquarters Area 11 Garki Abuja, or call these numbers 080-383-40464 or 080-770-78055. NTA Parliament, strengthening Nigeria's democracy.
Welcome back. In 2001, the Nigerian Parliament introduced a program which is now an established tradition. It is the Zonal Intervention Fund, popularly known as Constituency Project. And 24 years after, this fund is said to have received more criticism than praise. And in fact, it has received more criticism than any National Assembly-initiated programs. And in this report, Ignatius Nkwo takes a look at the running of the Zonal Intervention Fund, also known as Constituency Project.
Zonal Intervention Program, if you like call it Constituency Project, one of the features of the Nigerian Parliament introduced at the return of Nigeria's democracy in the Fourth Republic. In the wisdom of the proponents of this concept, it will bring development closer to the people. Constituency Project at inception has a clear-cut pattern of operation. During the budget process, legislators identify projects to be established in their constituencies. This is supposed to be a product of need assessment involving the constituents. The arrangement is that the award of the contract, supervision and payment for such projects are carried out by a ministry, department or agency of government. It is expected that the legislators do not have any control over the funds and execution.
But the thing is that the idea that people have about this is that the members are being given this money to put in their pocket, and that is the most unfortunate thing. We can only make people to start having faith in that constituency project when we were able to be imparting life with that which have been budgeted.
Constituency project can arguably be described as the most controversial program of the National Assembly. At the inception of the program in 2001, each member is allocated 5 million naira as constituency funds, but at present it is well over 100 million. Some critics doubt if it is value for money that the constituents get.
Constituency project is actually one of the projects which we are certain of and which have direct impact on the life of the people.
There is always a ceiling. You will say that yes, this is my ceiling for budget, but my budget in my constituency may be about electricity, but the requirement to the ordinary man is to dig to do wells, to do ordinary wells.
On the 8th of November 2023, Budget, a civil society organization that tracks the implementation of constituency projects across the country, released its 2022 report, where it revealed that out of 3,691 projects tracked in 22 states, between August 2022 and August 2023, only 337 were completed.
We have to take lessons from countries like Kenya, as mentioned, where there are even committees at the local constituency level responsible for, first of all, conducting needs assessment within the constituency and then making a request to a national body that will now release funds to that committee to implement those projects. What the lawmaker does is to pretend over and oversight to make sure that what is being implemented in the constituency is done effectively.
Constituency project is a global practice across Parliament, but what differs is the management and implementation process. Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Joining us to discuss the pros and cons of the Zonal Intervention Fund, popularly called Constituency Project, is Dr. Adoyi Omale, a political economist and a public affairs analyst. So now, Doctor, what is this concept of constituency project in Nigeria's democracy?
They are projects that have to do with the direct bearing of the people at the grassroots. These projects include things like roads, women and youth empowerment, skills acquisition, the skill acquisition centers, and so on. So these constituency projects are supposed to be inserted into the budget and then executed in the various constituencies. So that is the idea behind the constituency project, and it started from the time of since the Fourth Republic, when during the Olusegun Obasanjo administration. Ideally, these projects are not supposed to be executed by the legislators themselves or whoever they nominate. It's supposed to be inserted into the budget and implemented at the various constituencies by the executive. But of course, in Nigeria, a lot of things are turned upside down. So the legislators themselves now become the initiators, they become the executioners, and that is why there's a lot of outcry.
24 years down the lane of introducing the Zonal Intervention Fund, known as Constituency Project, in your opinion, can we say it has added value to lives of the constituents?
Most of these constituency projects are shoddily being executed because they are not being monitored by the executive branch of government, who are supposed to cost these projects, who are supposed to monitor the implementation of this project, who are supposed to ensure that these projects are executed according to specification. Most of these projects are not making the desired impact on the economy. If all these projects are diligently being implemented, we will not have the level of chaos and underdevelopment that we are having at the grassroots, especially in the last 24 years. But to my mind, or to my view, most of these projects have not really lived up to its expectation, because I will say without fear or favor that it's basically a conduit pipe for siphoning public funds, and that is why we are not seeing the impact.
And if we are getting it wrong, what could possibly be the problem? And how can we get it right for the benefit of constituents?
as it is today, that is not what it is. It's like the National Assembly members just insert these projects into the budget, and then and that is how it is. So we have to put enabling legislation in place to guide the implementation, the execution of this constituency project, and even the monitoring of this constituency project to ensure that they are properly executed, and those who have not been able to execute those projects should be properly investigated and sanctioned accordingly.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Dr. Adoyi Omale. Moving on, the Delta State House of Assembly has moved a motion condemning the unprovoked killing of 16 officers and men of the Nigerian Army and 1 civilian on a peace mission to Okwama community in Ughelli South local government area of Delta State. State Assembly correspondent Godfrey Nzekwe reports that a bill to repeal and reenact the administration of urban and regional planning, urban development, urban renewal, and building control activities in the state also passed through the first reading.
Presenting the motion at the floor of the House, member representing Ughelli South constituency, Festus Utuama, condemned the killing of 16 army officers and 1 civilian on peace mission to Okwama community in Ughelli South local government area. He urged the state governor, Sheriff Oborowori, to, as a matter of urgency, set up a commission of inquiry to look into the remote cause of the incident, arrest and prosecute those behind the act, and put in place measures to secure the life and property of the people in the community.
To vehemently condemn the unprovoked killing of 16 officers, men of the Nigerian Army, which include a Lieutenant Colonel, Commandant Officer, 2 Major Captain, 12 soldiers, and 1 civilian. While on a peace mission to Okwama community, Ughelli South local government area, on Thursday, 14 March 2, to deeply commiserate with the family of the 16 soldiers and the Nigerian Army. 3, to call on the governor of Delta State, His Excellency Right Honorable Elder Sheriff Oborowori, to all relevant government security agencies to investigate, arrest, and prosecute all those who carry out these attacking acts in line with applicable law of Delta State.
House of Assembly joining His Excellency Right Honorable the Sheriff Francis Oborowori, Governor of Delta State, to condemn in strong terms the unprovoked killing of the officers and men of the Nigerian Army, and wishes to commiserate with the families of the fallen soldiers and the Nigerian Army.
The member representing Bamadi State constituency, Kenneth Oboro described the killing as a national calamity which could have been avoided. He spoke briefly on the cause of the crisis.
The whole thing is about lands. The Okwama community is located right inside Bamadi local government area. In one flank, you have Akubone community. In the other flank, you have Okoloma community, both in Bamadi local government area. I'm told some people are accusing the state government for not doing enough, but that is not true. We need efforts to ensure that there is peace. Precisely on the 7th of February 2024, the Office of the Special Advisor on Peace Building and Conflict Resolution, Chief Uzo, Godwin Uzo, invited these communities. I was there, my colleague Festus Utuama of Ughelli South was there. Commissioner of Police was represented. The 2 former immediate past chairmen of the both local government areas, they were also there in the peace meeting. And the representatives of all other security agencies were there. The divisional police officers of the 2 local governments were also there. And one Professor Arthur Ekwebo led the Okwama delegation. And in that meeting, he was spitting fire at them of the trouble. I warned him, and I spoke and advised all of them that when there is trouble, it does no one any good.
Also, a bill for a law to repeal and reenact the administration of urban and regional planning, urban development, urban renewal and building control activities, establishment of urban and regional planning board, and for other related matters passed through the first reading.
Planning Bill 2024 House Bill number 9, first reading.
Still on plenary, the House adopted the draft 8th Assembly Legislative Agenda after a thorough review and amendment of the various pages.
Going forward, we shall be guided by the provisions in the 8th Assembly Legislative Agenda in carrying out our activities.
In Asaba, Godfrey Nzekwe, NTA News.
The Kano State House of Assembly has made a resolution calling on the state government to renovate Kano State Central Mosque, located in the municipality, and provide closed-circuit television camera to enhance security. Samira Hamisu Shira reports that the House has also adopted 3 other motions for the provision of infrastructure in different parts of the state.
According to Yusuf Aliu Daniju, who represents Kano Municipal Constituency, because of the porous nature of the mosque, it has been facing security threats in recent times, hence the need to call on the state government to intervene, which the House unanimously agreed to. For Representative Ibrahim Muhammad from Rano constituency, his motion centered on the construction of a road from Tashar Amaria to Kundu, while his counterparts in a joint motion appealed to the state government to rehabilitate roads from Katsina Express Junction to some parts of Bichi, Bagwe, Shanonu, Gwarzo and Dawakin Tufa. Still talking motions, Amina Saadu of Ungogo constituency called on the state government to establish senior secondary school boys in Tudun Fulani, which was adopted. The House will reconvene on Monday, the 18th of March 2024. From the Kano State House of Assembly, Samira Hamisushira, NTA News.
Well, that is the size of our bulletin at this time. Remember to log on to NTA Parliament on the platforms on your screen. And on behalf of the production crew, I am Praise Nwachuku. Many thanks for watching.